Now's the very best time of the year to put tile in the ground.
Okay, that's easy to say, Brian. There's no crop up in this field yet. So yeah, it wouldn't be a bad deal here. But what if the crop was 6 inches tall?
Well, the crop's already planted here. So yeah, it hasn't emerged yet, but still it's an issue because everybody's concerned, oh, I'm gonna tear up my crop going out and doing some tiling. We're not too worried about that.
Well, you know, here's the thing. A lot of these spots in fields that you're having issues in, you may not even have been able to plant that certain spot because you haven't got your drainage working just right in your field. In those cases, it's really easy to get out there and do some work. But if you do have a nice crop up, you start to think about it, wow, you know, I've got crop in, let's just say 30-inch rows, for example. How much of that crop am I going to have to tear up if I'm just doing tile in certain parts of the field?
Well, here's the way I look at the whole thing. If let's say you're putting tile in, even pattern tiling, you're only going every 50 feet. Okay, so you're gonna tear up a little bit of crop every 50 feet, but even there, it's not that bad because what we found in our own fields is as we go through, we can pull the plow right in between the rows quite often, and we really don't rip up a whole lot. Yes, it's going to move some, but then that settles back down, and for the most part, we're talking about less than 5% of the plants in the whole field that we've actually killed. Well, if it's less than 5%, what's it really amount to? Because this is a one-year deal. The other big thing, like Darren mentioned, is usually we're going through doing spring tiling in areas where we've got some issues. That's the reason why we're tiling it in the first place. So we weren't getting that great crop there. We weren't getting 250 bushel corn like we want. If we can make that more productive over the next few years, that's what we're really after. We got to get to that point.
Well, the other thing is if you're going to tile your whole farm and you've got lots of work to do, when are you going to find time to do it? Look at this fall, for example. We ended up being pretty wet in our area, and a lot of guys had a hard time getting the crop out. In many cases, that crop came out in the spring, unfortunately, this year.
But hey, Darren, we had 2 days to do tiling last fall. We tiled 2 days on our farm, literally.
So, you know, if you're just putting all your eggs in that basket that, well, I'm going to get my harvest done early, and then I'll have a good month before we start getting really cold or we get some snow in our area, good luck with that theory, especially in the upper Midwest.
Yeah, we've really made a huge difference on our farm by putting in so much tile. We put in over 60 miles of tile in the last 3 years on our farm. We still have a little bit to go, but we're just about done. But it has completely changed some of these fields. It's like it's whole new ground. I just can't believe it going out in some of these fields. They're so much more productive now. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, getting back to this, why you would want to tile now as compared to in the fall or maybe in the very early spring before you start planting, here's the #1 reason. When you're tiling yourself, it's a lot more fun when it's 70 or 80 degrees outside as compared to when it's 20. I mean, it's not the hardest job in the world or anything, but still, you're gonna get wet probably, you're gonna get muddy, and when the weather's nice and warm, you really don't mind that so much. When the weather is cold, productivity goes down. I can just tell you from our own experience with our guys on the farm, we're usually getting about 2 to 3 miles of tile put in per day at this time of the year. When we get to the late fall, it gets down to maybe a half a mile per day is all we're getting done. And at that point, I just shut her down because we're just wasting our time at that particular time of year. We have to go in and pre-rip the ground when the ground is partially frozen. It takes a lot more time to make connections. It's hard to get anybody to actually get down into the water when it's that cold. But at this time of the year, the weather's perfect. Get it done.
All right, so let's focus on some of the common questions.
Yep.
Is now a good time to get approval with NRCS? Are they super busy now, or?
Well, they're super busy year-round. But yeah, I mean, now is a pretty good time. They can actually get out into fields right now, so get it done now.
Well, if nobody else is doing tiling right now, they can maybe move you up on the priority list and say, oh, okay, if you're going to do it right now, let's work with you and get you out of the system.
That's possible.
The other thing is, how about spreading out the workload? What other stuff are guys busy with right now? Is there more time now or less?
Yeah, there's absolutely more time. In the fall, I mean, our time gets sucked up because it takes forever to get harvest done and trucking and everything else. Planting goes pretty fast anymore with big planters. Spraying goes really fast. The other thing is you can tile on windy days that are too windy to spray.
All right, well, crops don't like wet feet. Is this going to help us with production this year, disease potentially in the field?
This is one of the big things on our own farm. We've gained yield when we've put tile in the ground in June just with this particular crop because it does take that extra moisture out of the soil.
How quick does it start running?
Immediately. I mean, before we're even to the other end of the field, that tile is running. We're getting benefit from it right now, and yes, it will help in terms of disease. It'll help in terms of weed control because you'll get a better crop canopy. You'll have better weed control. I mean, everything all around. There are so many reasons why tile is important.
Well, for guys that aren't set up, what's it cost?
Not that much. You're probably talking around $15,000 to $20,000 for the plow. You're talking another maybe $7,000 or $8,000 for a really good GPS guidance system. You probably want to get a stringer cart. Grand total, you're talking $30,000, $35,000. You should get a payoff of that in a week or less. And this is no joke, seriously. I mean, on our farm, I figured the first field we did, we'd already paid for everything. It comes back really fast. Not just in the yield gain or anything else, but in the savings of you doing it yourself versus hiring it done. Plus, the other thing is there's so much tiling being done around all over the country that the tiling contractors are way backed up in some cases. Talk to the guys in your area, maybe they have time for you, but I know in our area, it's really tough to get them. Some of the guys are 2 to 3 years out.
And if you're looking for more information about drainage tile, just check out our website at agphd.com. Well, coming up next is our Weed of the Week.